Amazing evening, Nigerians. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Update with Precious. Another beautiful day to bring on an update of things with the shele for inside Nigeria. My name is Precious Inyi, and he always sits my belly to bring on an update for inside this place. All right, make I go straight down to the matter with the shele because there's a lot of stories I would like me to touch very quick. Okay, so I know say we don't hear of that accident we get to do with Anthony Joshua. Very sad. We claim the lives of two people, we be foreigners, sad they will not be Nigeria. The holiday season and 30 December don't turn another thing, and this day very sad. The president don't talk to Ram, and Mama don't confirm say you don't talk to Ram too. But this one will stop the fact in a very sad accident will happen with this one, and we be say good for the name of Nigeria at all. All right, but make we enter straight to the matter them as it holds. Suspected terrorist attack Kebbi community. Many residents feared dead, injured. The attacks them never stop. Sheigumi tags Nigerians supporting Sokoto airstrikes. Stupid! On this stupid for attacking for supporting Sokoto airstrike. He maintains Trump's hands are bloodstained. Meanwhile, saying talks make we go take advice from, make we go seek help from Turkey instead or Palestine. Evidence where they ground now don't they show say Turkey, in fact, an Egyptian television station don't talk say Turkey now real terrorist sympathizers where they actually send arms to what did they call them? That Turkey actually sends arms to what did they call them? To Boko Haram. Turkey, they actually send arms to Boko Haram. That is what an Egyptian television station said. And we'll look at that. And perhaps why Sheigumi be keen about us seeking help from Turkey instead of United States. As he said, the United States hands, they stained. All right, then let's move on to other issues very quickly. Many feared dead, several missing as terrorists attack Kebbi community. I did say this earlier. Yes, still more on insecurity story. Let's see there. Okay, where is Tinubu? Amnesty International, other Nigerians blast Nigerian president for abdicating security duties after US strike. Say, wait. US can't strike terrorists for your stronghold, which, by the way, has been confirmed that indeed a lot of people died for that airstrike. Right? Okay. Well, they don't come do strike for inside your place. Since that time till now, you never make one single comment, no official report or comment, not concerning the strike. Why? You know what makes some people vex for you? But then those people go still they vex now. Those people you want me they vex go still vex now because they already vex. See, you allow the strike happen. So why you don't want to talk about them? And then instead you waka commot from Nigeria without clear explanation to Nigerians as to exactly where you're going to. And with the fact say even more escalated attacks don't they since then. You just waka come out like that. Nigerians are not take amazing. They don't they blast them. And I'll let you in on that. Anthony Joshua involved in an accident on Lagos Ibadan Expressway. And they don't talk, say, what caused the accident? Now overspeeding. Anthony Joshua injured in car crash in Nigeria that has left two other people dead. Anthony Joshua driver in hospital, dead foreign nationals in mortuary. Ogun State government, now they talk that one. Car crash. I spoke on phone with Anthony Joshua, mother, night of this one. Tinubu also don't confirm, say he don't talk to Anthony Joshua. And did I tell you over 30 women, children displaced by bandits share single room? That is people will be say bandits displaced from their homes. They don't get where they stay. Then they share one room, single room at unofficial Zamfara IDP camp. For Zamfara State IDP camp. Only one room, over 30 women they stay. Now wow. Okay. Moving on, tax reform law, reps minority caucus 6 suspension of implementation. And then INEC excludes PDP from Ekiti governorship election. Nationwide blackout as national grid collapses. And what a time to collapse inside this December like this. Hoodlums attack, flog women protesting killings, kidnappings in Kwara State. Governor Abdul Razak don't say he had no day inside. Nothing like 001 in Rivers APC. That's not your position. Wiki mocks for Bara. I know they like put him up for this their matter. Doctors confirm injured Anthony Joshua is stable, doesn't require emergency medical intervention. And then 2027 presidency. I built my business from scratch. More experienced than Atiku, Tinubu says. Tinubu, more experienced than Atiku and Tinubu, Peter Obi says so. And moving on to other issues, Nigerian court declares local government autonomous, end state control of Universal Basic Education Fund. PDP seeks Minister Wike. PDP says Minister Wike is a recurrent troublemaker. That is, now troublemaker when they stop. You own now world with that end. No be amen. Okay, that has revealed nature by vowing to support APC in 2027. That's what PDP talk. Article slams National Assembly's plan to re-gazette Tinubu's controversial tax laws amid alterations. Wait, oh, they say person forge something or cancel something for something instead of una to look into the forging or cancellations. Then una they talk say make we do waiting, make them regazette am, and then all sins will just be forgiven like that. That's now waiting that they talk about with that. Imo State dispute traditional rulers. Imo State dispute. Imo Shrine dispute. Traditional rulers. Worshippers accuse Tiger Base, police Christian groups of torture, religious intolerance. And then there's an exclusive of over, yeah, I think I took that already. And then over 800 million blood money paid to secure release of Nigerians on death row in Saudi Arabia. This, according to Madam Abdicating agency, NIDCOM, and so they don't confirm. So they pay over 800 million naira, in fact, blood money paid to secure release of Nigeria on death row in Saudi Arabia. Well, this and other matters, I'm now going to look into this evening. I'd like to welcome you and thank you so much for being part of the show. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. So let's get started with the conversations at hand. So, Gebe community for inside Shanga local government area of Kebbi State has come under a deadly attack as escalated attacks don't day since Trump's strike. And this time, of course, gunmen suspected to be terrorists, and they also done as usual. Now, leaving an unknown number of residents dead and several others injured, according to local sources. According to eyewitnesses, they said the gunmen struck suddenly, they just come suddenly, opened fire indiscriminately on residents, forcing many to flee to nearby bushes and neighboring communities for safety. So the community is reportedly in shock as it has not experienced such a violent assault in many years. In years, person just come, enter, begin shoot anyhow. Now the gunmen came suddenly and started shooting. People ran in all directions. We are still in shock. Many have fled to the surrounding villages. One resident who requested anonymity told newsmen. But the question be say, why this kind of attack they happen? The residents they fear to be talk. If they won't talk, they go they say no mention my name or no be me talking because you survive. And then why it be say another reason why, because people they wonder why are they really afraid? Because you go to some northern states, people go tell you say, oh, because the government need to let me people talk about these things then. Why government not gonna let you talk about the things really happen, when they affect your life directly? Why? It's about your life. It's about your life. So why? So that's what's a question we be say they worry a lot of people and why people they ask. Now the community is reportedly in shock as they say they've never experienced this in years. The police also confirmed the attack. Now the public relations officer in the state, Bashir Usman, told Channels Television that officers are currently on the ground assessing the situation. He said, we are on top of the matter and we are working to determine the number of casualties and injuries and an official statement will be issued soon after they don't ascertain the number of casualties. You know, the way they do them, like, say, no be human beings, they die. That's what Usman talked, by the way. Now, residents have appealed to the government and security agencies to intervene urgently, describing the attack as deadly and unprecedented for their area. Calls to the village head for comment were not answered at the time of filing the report. Security sources said reinforcement have been deployed to the area to prevent further bloodshed. So this can be like attack. When it be like say they just say Trump, if you dare us, we will finish people. Because I don't understand. So wait, since this strike by the United States government, a joint operation with Nigerian government, right? So why EBC didn't also make plans in case EBC there are reprisal attacks? As we see so, wouldn't be their plans against these reprisal attacks? They no put them in for their plans when be say before these strikes them happen, or it's okay for people to die, a lot of casualties to occur because of reprisal attacks. That's not question where BC people they ask. But let's move on quickly. As they even talk to person where BC people don't they talk about every time concerning these kind of attacks, and as in hand they inside Chegumi. So controversial Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi or Sheikh Ahmed Gumi has called Nigerians in support of the recent United States airstrikes against extremist groups stupid. describing their support as misguided and unfortunate. Now, the airstrike reportedly conducted with Nigeria's approval targeted Islamic State-linked militant camps in Sokoto State. Now, officials said the operations were precision attacks based on intelligence shared by Abuja aimed at weakening insurgent networks. So, in response to the support the development has garnered, Gumi criticized the Nigerian government for allowing foreign military involvement and called for it to demand the withdrawal of U.S. forces. He said the Nigerian government should call the attention of the ambassadors concerned to immediately withdraw the U.S. military interventions on Nigeria insurgency fights. Now, he then addressed citizens who had welcomed the strikes, describing such reactions as misunderstanding of the implications of national security. So I don't understand the implication of this kind of thing for national security. Now, this is nothing but a betrayal of our Nigerians. Some people would be saying that since we cannot end the insecurity and we have United States intervention, why don't we gladly accept the help? He said, there are stupid people whose thinking faculty is very small. They are the ones who will think so. This person, he said, the US President Donald Trump, must be stopped and chased out. This is a person that has his hands stained with blood, especially blood of children and adults, Shegumi said. Now, how can you call for assistance from a thief when they enter your own house? Now, in a statement titled The Symbolism of the US Strike, posted on his Facebook page last week, Gumi said Nigeria had made a strategic error by allowing cooperation with the United States, insisting that terrorists don't fight terrorists. In truth, they may only kill innocent people and have ulterior motives behind the drama of fighting. Remember, Shegumi also did say that instead of Nigeria to even get help from the US, why shouldn't Nigeria seek help from from Palestine or from Turkey? Wait, so Nigerians just want to dig out this report right now from an Egypt-based media television station, where carry evidence say Turkey, na known terrorist sponsor, where they even sent arms to Boko Haram. And Nigeria said, wait a minute. So this now waiting, Gumi. Okay, so you're calling Trump, person way in hand, don't stay. Then it advises us to go seek help from Turkey. The Turkey call you call where you say Nigerians they're thinking faculty. No, they stupid and they don't get better thinking faculty for lauding US intervention. You call now where they ask for Turkey help. Is Turkey any better? Let me, take you through to that report, make you watch that video where EB say that accusation happened from an Egyptian television.
An Egyptian television news program says that Turkey is clearly a terrorist state with a broad reach. It reports that Turkey is supplying weapons to the terrorist group Boko Haram in Nigeria. 10 TV host Nashat Al-Delhi reported on a leak confirming an intercepted phone call from a few years back confirming the action. He reported in part, today's leak confirms without a doubt that Erdogan, his state, his government, and his party are transferring weapons from Turkey to, this is a shock, to where you may ask, to Nigeria. And to whom? To the Boko Haram organization. Well, Raymond Ibrahim, a journalism fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center and an expert on the Middle East and Islam, joins us now with more on this. Welcome, Raymond.
Hello, Heather.
Are you surprised by this report? What's your take on it?
No, I'm not surprised. And my take on it is that the actual tape that was made that you referenced and you quoted was made apparently in 2014 or 15. And it was reported widely in certain areas in the U.S. and in the West, not so much, and not much came out of it. And the reason, I think, is because Erdogan didn't have his fingers so much in Islamist politics outside of his own nation. But now that we've seen, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the ISIS Islamic State caliph who was killed recently, and he was found just 3 miles from the Turkish border, which is in fact one of the last, or if not the last bastion of jihadi so-called freedom fighters of attacking the Syrian government. It's brought it up again, the fact that everyone is saying, well, look, he's supporting ISIS. So now we're remembering, and that was, I think, the point of the Egyptian show. We're bringing back to see that there's some continuity here. It's not just right next door to Syria, to Turkey, meaning Syria, he's involved with some of the absolute worst Islamic terror groups. Remember, Boko Haram, which its name loosely means Western education is forbidden, haram, was basically doing what ISIS is notorious for years before ISIS. So the whole, head chopping, crucifying, massacres, enslaving women and children, burning people alive, Boko Haram was doing that. And one of the things that international observers have been noticing, especially increasingly, is that their armaments, their weapons, are very sophisticated. And it's even spilled into the Fulani tribesmen in Nigeria and in other parts in Africa. For example, I'm sure you know, Burkina Faso, also in Western Africa, attacks on Christians have become horrific. Just in the last few months, there have been so many killed, and always in the context of checking out if they're wearing crosses, if they can say the Islamic Creed or not, and then being butchered and so forth. And those tribesmen, the Fulani, who are essentially living almost on a primitive scale, appear with very advanced weaponry.
Well, that's really interesting, which would kind of seem to perhaps give more weight to this idea that perhaps Turkey is collaborating with Boko Haram. What would the benefit be to Turkey of collaborating with Boko Haram?
Well, there's several theories. One is Erdogan basically is an ardent Islamist, and he is supporting and behind any Islamist movement in any country. He's the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. He was allied with Qatar of Al Jazeera as his ally. And so you can see him, he's trying to help develop these Islamist groups so they can overthrow more secular states. Though, in fact, in Nigeria, an aside that I think is important, the president himself, Muhammad Buhari, of Nigeria, who's Muslim, Nigeria is half Christian, half Muslim, has been accused himself of being behind the so-called genocide, which you can see him, he's trying to help develop these Islamist groups so they can
collaborating with Boko Haram.
Well, there's several theories. One is Erdogan basically is an ardent Islamist, and he is supporting and behind any Islamist movement in any country. He's the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. He was allied with Qatar of Al Jazeera as his ally. And so you can see him, he's trying to help develop these Islamist groups so they can overthrow more secular states. Though, in fact, in Nigeria, an aside that I think is important, the president himself, Muhammad Buhari, of Nigeria, who's Muslim, Nigeria is half Christian, half Muslim, has been accused himself of being behind the so-called genocide, which a lot of international groups have called what's happening to Christians in Nigeria, that he himself is complicit in this armament. So he could very well be an ally of Erdogan and so forth, and it's just some sort of Islamist overall coalition globally.
I want to ask you, the President Trump, of course, met with the President of Turkey yesterday. Do you think he's aware of these kind of ties to terrorism? And what are your thoughts on that meeting yesterday?
Well, in general, I think, what he's aware of is really hard to tell. But I think the meeting in general, Trump and presidents won't necessarily bring up all these things, obviously. So when he met, for example, in Saudi Arabia with the king and so forth, he doesn't really mention human rights abuses and so forth for whatever strategic tactical reasons. So it's really hard to predict, but I think he needs to be aware because Erdogan's he's got his fingerprints everywhere now. It's not just Syria, which is very obvious, but now there's older evidence of him involved in Nigeria and also in Turkey itself, the Christian population, the minority there. And remember, Turkey was originally entirely Christian. It was Anatolia. It was actually where St. Paul wrote all his epistles to. They're really being treated badly and discriminated against, and a lot of hate preaching in Turkey is increasingly against Christians and Jews. So definitely Turkey's going down the wrong path with Erdogan, though many Turks themselves remain committed to the Ataturk ideal of secularism.
Well, we are out of time, but Raymond Ibrahim, thank you for your time and your insights here.
Thanks.
Wow. Wow. So this interview was long ago, though. I think it was in 2023 during President Muhammad Buhari. Then President Muhammad Buhari still be the president of Nigeria. But you hear clearly within the man talk for inside that interview, how the president of Turkey, the person will be say, he's likely to expand the Islamic idea for most secular states. Like he said it there that Turkey was originally a Christian state. And even the people, the Christians that for inside Turkey right now, they face marginalization. So it won't expand most of that kind of idea now to other states. In fact, they even blame Buhari. They say people, they even blame him too as person who is sympathetic to this terrorists and person who is support and encourage this terrorism. Now, this is the kind of person or the kind of country where Sheikh Gumi, they say, make go seek help from. I had to go dig out this video. I mean, Nigeria started reacting to it too. That wait, this now the person where BC Gumi they tell us we could go seek help from. This now where Gumi wants we could go get help from. Then what happens when we get help from this kind of place? So again, how is it that the Nigerian government is unaware of this? That's one question that that is very difficult to answer. How is it that the Nigerian government is unaware of this? That's one. And on the other hand, how we just know the right thing to do or how to even use act about all of this matter. Now, one of the steps that the Nigerian government, President Bola Tinubu, don't take after the US strike to handle this issue. Now, the release of forest guards from the office of the NSC, we will work directly with the office of the NSC to use guard our forest. Now, what's be the due diligence when Nigerian government do in the employment of these people? Them who them be? Especially after we see an NSA rifle handed over to Miyetti Allah members for inside Kwara State. And then with the worry and all of the sinister plan agenda where people say, feed they involved, I know say that would sound like profiling, but unfortunately, people are worried about a particular ethnic group. And then you hand over this kind of thing, to an NSA away from a particular ethnic group, where people don't be accused already of showing bias by arming Miyetti Allah members, an ethnic group. Why just Miyetti Allah? I mean, you can as well arm Amoteko, for instance. So why give arms from NSA office to only Miyetti Allah members? Why not give to Amoteko, for instance? Why not give to Bubagu? Why not give to other the local militias from inside Benue State? Why Miyetti Allah members alone? So waiting be the due diligence when Nigerian government do for the employment of this over how many thousand forest guards when they don't carry people for inside our forests. Then waiting be the due diligence we will do to employ them. So that again another cause for worry. Now, another cause for worry, this is something we're supposed to worry also the United States make, where a lot of people they talk say, oh, the attack no yield any result. Oh, they just fire missed blank. They say not touch anybody. They just waste tomahawk missiles for nothing. You not touch anybody and all that. Come on. If you believe that, I said it the other day, that if you believe that the United States go waste their money, time and energy, even though say somehow Nigeria may end up paying for that. Come go do operation where they say a precision attack. Then come do them in vain where they no target anybody. Come on. It hard well. Because people for the communities now don't come out the talk. Say, excuse me, people die, a lot of Lukarawas then don't die. In fact, as they talk to you, now as they run like this, come out from inside our place in Sokoto State. Now, the reason I had to raise this conversation now, when the attack happened in Sokoto State, a lot of people were saying that, oh, why Sokoto State? Why Sokoto State? Why not Borno State, where people they go through a lot of things? Why Sokoto State? And I remember I did say that. The fact say then go Sokoto State instead of Borno State. You should perhaps ask yourself, people will do attack, then conduct their terrorist attack for Borno State. They go remain for that Borno State where you catch them. They will move to a place where you be saying your eye no go even know saying that they did at all. So are you saying that the US not get intelligence before you be say they do that thing what they do? That's not a question where we say people they ask. Because right now, villagers don't talk. Say indeed. Say Lukarawas people know they even let them rest for their villages, including ISIS. And remember, the attack was aimed at Lukarawas and ISIS. And ISIS, ISWAP. ISWAP, now break away, Lukarawas break away from ISWAP. Remember that. And all of these people get linked with ISIS. So you see, now make you take this, quickly listen to this report from Arise Television when their reporter day on Graphing Ferdinand, day on ground for inside the village, one of the villages where this attack reached. Remember saying that 12 tomahawk missiles now you be say them through. So one of the villages where you be say reach, how the villagers use their mouths to confess on the outcome of the attack after that attack. Make on a good watch.
The headquarters of Tangasa local government area, and behind me is Ruawuri. It is an international road that leads to Sahel countries like Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. Now, while it opens up business opportunities for Nigerians and other West Africans, its boundaries have become a haven for Lakurawa terrorists who often attack neighboring communities. Ruwa-Wuri is a long and lonely road cutting through communities in Tangaza, Sokoto North Senatorial District. The local government area houses border communities to Sahelian countries and since 2020 have come under intense attack by the Lakurawa sect. They are a terrorist group strongly linked to ISIS and other terror groups in the Sahel. It is to eliminate these terrorists that the United States fired several missiles at Tangaza on Christmas Day. These exclusive drone images taken after the strike show the terrorist valley hideouts in Kawuri Kandam and Malgam. Both communities have been cordoned by security operatives who are presently undertaking clearance operations within the vicinity, particularly to guard against unexploded missiles and blasts of improvised explosive devices planted by the terrorists. These residents of Masalashi, neighbors to Kawuri and Malgam, relieved their experiences of the Christmas night strikes. They confirmed the deaths of several terrorists and say no innocent resident was killed.
We had a loud sound 3 times that shook the foundation of our houses, and later we saw fire. It was later we realized that the fire was in Lakurawa terrorist base in Kahuri. Honestly, this is a welcome development.
While the number of terrorists eliminated cannot be ascertained at the moment, residents say many of the Lakurawa terrorists were seen fleeing on motorcycles.
I'm very happy about the U.S. bombing. Like most of our people in this community, the strike has sent panic into the Lakurawa camp, as our neighboring communities confirmed to us that they have seen the remnant of the Lakurawa terrorists fleeing their base in Kawuri Kandam and Malgam, where they have dug a well and have as a permanent camp.
Kabir Dogo sells local herbs. He says his business was greatly affected by the Lakurawa terrorists.
The activities of the Lakurawa terrorists has affected my trade. Aside selling traditional herbal medicine, I used to have a monkey and hyena that I used to entertain people and attract customers to buy my medicine. The Lakurawa killed both the monkey and the hyena and almost took my life. They have disrupted my business and make life difficult for me.
While the sect holds extreme religious opinions with which they oppress the locals, it is their impact on economic activities like rustling of livestock that have had more negative impact on the people.
I used to be a trader selling provision in my village, but the activities of Lakurawa in my village has rendered my community have been sacked by the Lakurawa. I was panicked by the report of bombing, fearing it may affect my community people, but thank God that did not happen.
As speculations about the success of the Christmas Day strikes are put to rest, correspondents say it is time for security operatives to move in and occupy the ungoverned spaces. Ferdinand Duroha, Arise News.
All right, so that's Ferdinand Duroha from Arise Television. So you hear Waiting in Talk. I mean, not just Waiting in Talk. You hear from the resident of the village, one of the villages, where we say this attack happened, right? And then it's the strike rate, right? And you see that the villagers are actually happy. Then who are those others who are not happy about it? And what will be their reason for not being happy about it? If people, when they live for the village themselves, they express joy over this, saying that, I mean, it's needed because, say, the team don't send panic to the camps of these people and you don't make them begin run helter-skelter. These terrorists are not the wrong come for their village. So what about that? But let's get straight to other issues. Gunmen suspected to be terrorists. I'd said that before. So, yeah. So I'm still talking about this terrorist act. Remember, say, for inside Kwara State, I think, the day people will be say still the den of kidnappers since how many weeks ago will be say they kidnap them. And now they don't come out, they seek for help. Say they don't do. We need to be able to release these people. We don't know how. So here is a video where they even had to make a video begging the government of Kwara State to seeking for help on how their people go fit use the released. Take a listen.
Today, 29th December 2025. Members of the press, the affected, abducted families, ladies and gentlemen, we stand before you today not as politicians, not as activists, but as broken families, united by fear, pain, and uncertainty. Barely 15 days ago, precisely 15th December 2025, our brothers, our sons, our breadwinners were abducted in broad daylight while carrying out legitimate work at a construction site along Sabaja/Owa-Onire Road in Kwara State. At about 11:40 a.m., armed men suspected to be bandits stormed the site and took away 5 innocent workers, which include Ademola Afolabi, Abdullahi Ladin, Emmanuel Oluwadare, Fatai, Akin, and their driver, Mr. Yusuf. Since that moment, our lives have been suspended between hope and despair. These men were not criminals. They were adventurers. They were professionals and laborers, contributing to the development of the country and Kwara State too. They went to work that morning, believing they would return home safely. Instead, their families have been thrown into anguish and despair. Of course, we acknowledge the efforts so far reported by the police, the military, and the local vigilante. We appreciate every step taken. But we must state clearly and urgently, time is of the essence. Time is not on our side. Every passing hour deepens the trauma of the families, especially the wives, the children, elderly parents who depend entirely on these men for survival. Many of these families have no other source of income. Beyond the fear for their lives, now there is now hunger, psychological distress, and total.
I have to play more of that video, but just to put a perspective to this now, the families of those are Kwara construction workers, so say them be abducted sometime. And these abductors are be terrorists. They request for 500 million naira. Why the families won't go give 500 million naira to release them? And this is why they had to do this press conference, seeking for help from the governor of the state. The terrorists, they demand 500 million naira, and the families never fit to raise that kind of money. You can see the children, the wives of these people, in fact, they are totally distraught. I mean, you would not even be happy yourself if your family member did in that kind of situation. How will you even be able to eat? Wondering how your family member, whenever I talk about the Equa Church members, though, that one, it be like 100 million we hear say then ask for. Remember, say the people away from Equa Church, where did the hand of this terrorist them? But let's take a listen to the rest of that press conference.
Psychological distress and total uncertainty. We therefore make the following urgent appeals to the government, especially to our governor, Governor Abdurrahman. Number one, we call on the Kwara State government and relevant security agencies to please intensify rescue efforts and treat this abduction as a top priority emergency until every victim is safely returned home. 2, we urge government to establish direct communication with the affected families, so we are not left to rely on rumors and social media for information about our loved ones. Number 3, we appeal for immediate support for the families of the abducted workers, including welfare assistance and counseling, as many households are already in distress. And lastly, we ask for stronger security presence along construction corridors and rural roads to prevent further attacks on innocent workers and residents. Ordinary Nigerians who leave home every day to earn an honest living. To the abductors, we say, these men are fathers. These men are sons. These men are our brothers. Please release them unharmed. To the authorities, we say, do not let this
àwọn gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì kan ṣàánú wa kó rìlíìsì ọkọ wa fún wa. Àyè la fẹ́ àwọn ọmọ mi kéré mo dẹ̀dẹ̀ lù sí bébí mi ní. Ìyá yìí pọ̀ ẹ̀ ṣàánú wa.
What do you want government to do for you?
Government to help us. We give them a life.
All right, no family should go through this. No individual should go through this kind of pain. You know, the sadness to not have the least idea of the condition where your loved one is inside. It is very, very sad. And this is also me using the little platform I get to also call on the government or the government of Kwara State to please do something. Since we don't negotiate with them, I am not going to help negotiate out this family, their family members. Please. And don't forget the Equa Church members too. They are humans. The fact that they even had to spend Christmas in custody, that's painful enough. So please, let's do something until we're able to deal with this heinous and stupid acts decisively. Please, let's make sure that we have less deaths. I beg. We're gonna try help. We're gonna need to throw people to this kind, this kind of sadness. I beg. All right. So let's get straight to Tinubu's conversation, to other issues concerning the president. As the Amnesty International and other Nigerians and a coalition of civil society organizations under the platform of, I think, Nigeria Joint Civil Society Action has raised grave concern and deep alarm over the US airstrike carried out on Christmas Day on Nigerian territory. Now, the organizations questioned the silence and absence of the country's political and military leadership in the aftermath. Wait. Where are military day for all of this? No, okay, we could leave military one corner. Defense don't tell us say a joint effort and all that. Okay, our president Congo. You know, Sabi make speech. And for that president today congratulated Anthony Joshua. Say Anthony Joshua, sympathized with Anthony Joshua. Say, Anthony Joshua, I hear what happened to you. Sorry, no vex. Even not us saying don't call him. Wait. But you could talk to Anthony Joshua, but you cannot or you could not respond to an airstrike away from another country, land your domots. That's not waiting people to talk. Now, in a joint press conference released today, Monday, entitled, "Where is the President?" The organization said the incident raises fundamental questions about sovereignty, constitutional governance, civilian protection, and the integrity of Nigeria's social contract. And the statement was jointly signed by a wide range of civil society organizations and leaders, including 21st Century Community Empowerment of Youth and Women Initiative, Abubakar and Mohammed, Accountability Lab Nigeria, ACE Nigeria, Advocacy Center for Development, African Center for Media and Information Literacy, African Law Foundation, Alliance for Africa, Alliance, quite a lot of them, don't let me mention. In fact, the foundation, them too much will be put, but then plenty of them. Now, the group said it was apparent that Nigeria is in a dual crisis of leadership and security. Adding that, at the heart of this crisis is the apparent abdication by the president of the federal abdication, rather, of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, of his constitutional role as a commander-in-chief of the armed forces, in case you don't understand the grammar. Say, inside the bottom line and the heart of this, or the flesh of this conversation, now say the president of a country where the sovereign don't carry a matter hand over to another country, pata, make it handle. That is why Donald Trump can't tell us, say, in don't conduct strike for our own soil. And our own president till now never responds to him people. I mean, Donald Trump could tweet, and our president could not also tweet to say that perhaps just to thank the US. Since they're saying a joint action, Abi, okay, to thank them, or to say, oh, we're glad that the US has helped. Just say something. Nothing has been said. And this time waiting, a lot of people they worry about. So come, since then, our president just did melee. We never hear. Next thing we hear say they come out, go Europe, go where? And then the worst of that is that the president did not even state his whereabouts. Nobody know exactly where they're going. According to the statement, he said, inviting a foreign government to manage what is fundamentally an internal security challenge. The president ceded sovereignty authority in a manner that undermines Nigeria's constitutional order. Now, the organizations also described it as even more disturbing that during and after the operation, the president, the service chiefs, and the leadership of the National Assembly were either on vacation or completely silent, leaving the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, to publicly rationalize decisions that strike at the core of national sovereignty and democratic accountability. Part of the statement reads that the coalition said the silence reflected a profound breakdown of institutional accountability mechanisms, citing, I think they cited section 14, subsection 2B of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which states that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. They stress that any security action, especially one involving foreign military forces, must be grounded in transparency, civilian protection, and democratic oversight, adding that none of the standards were met. No, but civilians were secured, according to what we hear from the mouth of the people away from the village. Then say nothing happened to anybody will be civilian. So then, get the attack well. Well, while acknowledging the importance of international counterterrorism cooperation, the groups called for an urgent reassessment of Nigeria's national counterterrorism strategy and its policy framework and national action plan for preventing and countering violent extremism to determine whether the recent US operation aligns with them or exposes significant gaps within them. Now, they also expressed concern over what they described as the severe deficit of information regarding the nature, scope, legal basis, and rules of engagement governing the collaboration between the Nigeria and US government. According to the statement, Nigerians have not been informed of the basis for authorizing the strikes, under what legal framework were they conducted, what safeguards were in place to protect civilians, whether the National Assembly exercised any oversight, or what accountability mechanisms exist for harm caused. Now, the groups warned that such opacity fuels mistrust and undermines public confidence in government at a time when trust is already dangerously low in the country. They went on and on and on. And now, the most important thing for this, the fact say, the lack of accountability from government. I mean, government ought to have made the reports. We ought to have had a military people on ground in the different sites where you say that missile drop. She been at 12 missiles, they say they drop a bit ahead. So where be the different sites and waiting they go on there? Nigerians ought to have an information about that. I mean, there's no way they will go around those places, we say 1 or 2 dead bodies and we don't drop. Waiting, how many I don't see so far? Or okay, perhaps not still coded operation yet. Or when I do it, may US be the first person who will give us the assessment report of waiting after attack assessment report or whatever it is. So now Nabiana go tell us. Then where then lies our sovereignty? But the most important thing in this is the president not even saying anything. The president not fit talk anything. Now a lot of people they look and say they're politically motivated because the president don't want to talk, considering say Arewa they already vex for him. Say you get mind to tell you say make you no call foreign help. You get mind go call foreign help. So this not just make I not go talk now, but they say I don't to do because this one now out of my help. I know fit. There's nothing I could do about it. That now it's some people they think. Perhaps that's the reason why he's unable to say anything yet. But he's your president, no matter what. And if, just like Peter Obi had said, way by Ananoga one chop and rod that time, if I don't see say this fight, I'm not going to fight him alone. I have the right to go to any extent to ensure that I safeguard the lives and property of my people, just like they have rightly stated in the Constitution. So if that's not the reason, then you should also come out and say, and if I have hurt anybody or have offended anybody by seeking for foreign help, I'm sorry. I have to live up to my responsibility, primary responsibility of securing the lives and properties of Nigerians. While others also look within the civil society organizations they talk as politics, especially those where they sympathetic towards the terrorism. Say, oh, now people where they vex towards the actions of the terrorists. So now we make they do this one to Kukuma over vex for our president. So whichever it is, well, this now waiting they happen. Let's go straight to the very sad incident where ABC happened today. As former heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua was involved in an accident along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway today, Monday. Reports say the accident occurred, I think, in Makun, Ogun State. Photos of Joshua in a wrecked vehicle at the incident scene emerged on social media, and rescue efforts in another video. He was seen being rescued from another, car. The cause of the accident is yet, in fact, the cause of the accident, according to the police or FRSC, they say that overspeeding now caused the accident. Saying that the overspeeding now be waiting cause the accident. And it is very sad to get to hear this kind of thing, say overspeed. And that attack cost the lives of 2 people as it happened. In fact, other foreign media organizations already carry on. Sky News already report the crash killed 2 people, according to Nigerian authorities. The former 2-time world heavyweight champion, 36, was traveling in the back of a black Lexus when the SUV hit a stationary truck on a busy highway in Makun, Ogun State. Now, Joshua, who is the son of British Nigerian parents, suffered minor injuries and was taken to hospital for treatment, while 2 passengers in the vehicle died, according to officials. This is really very, very sad. I don't even know how to explain this. The mother of Anthony Joshua don't confirm, say yes, she's been able to speak to her son. As they say, the Ogun State government has also confirmed that the remains of 2 persons who died in the road accident involving Anthony Joshua have been deposited at the Lives Well mortuary in Shagamu. If you see the way one of the body, they shattered there. And I don't know this thing about social media craze for us Nigerians. People die, their dead body and shattered body they for road. And these people are not even Nigerians, perhaps bodyguard and one more person. And then you just allow them, like, just take videos of that horrific condition where them day like that, post it across social media. Do you know the heartbreak you have given to those families? So they find out about the death of their loved ones for social media, and in that condition. I don't know what is wrong with us in Nigeria, honestly speaking. I don't know what thing they do us. This thing where people they talk about, say things go happen. Instead of Nigerians to quickly help out people where we see something happen to, they go rather define where we say they will use get footages, do videos. And it really is sad. Now let's watch part of that incident. I had to cut off the part where the dead bodies then did because of YouTube policies. Just watch part of that. He's waiting in pain.
Kọ́wá bó tiẹ̀ ṣe máa gbóhùn bọ́lẹ̀ náà. Wọ́n gbóhùn náà bọ́lẹ̀ kọ́ tiẹ̀ kọ́ gbé lọ sọ́spítù. Kọ́ gbé lọ sọ́spítù kọjọ. Kọ́ gbé lọ sọ́spítù. Kọ́ gbé lọ sọ́spítù.
All right, so the good thing we say, medical experts don't talk, say Anthony Joshua be very stable, as they don't see him, they don't carry and go. I mean, he's very lucky. They easy to come out of that kind of thing like that. So medical expert don't talk, say he's very stable and no need further emergency medical intervention, that he's very fine. But that's no go stop the fact, say 2 people we BC did there to them, we come to work with them, die for that incident. Now, President Bola Tinubu today Monday said he spoke by phone with Anthony Joshua, the Nigerian British former heavyweight boxing champion, following this accident that happened. The phone conversation was made public via statement issued by President spokesman Bayo Nanoga. Now, the statement quoted Tinubu as saying, "I spoke with AJ on the phone to personally convey my condolences over the death of his two associates. I wish him well and pray for him. He assured me that he is receiving the best care in the hospital. We had to state that. But yeah, our guy, if they're sick, you need to receive the best care for Nigerian hospital. I think our president, if you're sick, you don't need to receive best care in a hospital. But Anthony Joshua from UK come Nigeria now, come and show you saying they receive the best care for our hospital. And you are proud and you're telling us, oh, you come when you know where, try receive best care for inside our hospital now. And I beg you, they beg you. Moving forward. And I said, I also spoke with AJ's mother and prayed for her. She was very appreciative of my call. Additionally, I spoke to Governor Dapo Abiodun, who was in the hospital with them. The governor assured me that he will do everything possible to ensure AJ receives the best possible attention. Earlier, of course, the president also posted that, posted that on his Twitter handle, showing concerns. I mean, reflecting on reacting to Anthony Joshua's very sad incident there. So this are very sad. I think there's another footage where he was eventually retrieved from that vehicle. Take a listen. Not be smart, even people wake come for rescue self is shocked them. Not be listening to Anthony Joshua be that, and that is someone Anthony Joshua be this. So it was shocking. This is really, really very sad. Well, as much as people may want to blame this on our road, on the state of our roads and all that, but then overspeeding gets a lot of things. I mean, the FRS don't come as in overspeeding because they ran into a stationed vehicle we don't own a truck, we don't own jejely, and they won't go meet. Which kind of speed we they run, we cause this guy. So sometimes if some drivers they drive you now, tell them say you don't do like that. Whatever it is, this is really very sad. Let's get straight to the tax reforms now. As the minority caucus of the House of Representatives has condemned the immediate suspension of the they have demanded the immediate suspension of the implementation of the currently enacted tax reform laws. Now, the demand follows allegations that the statutes were unlawfully altered after being passed by National Assembly. So, in the talk, the minority leader, Rep. Kingsley Chinda from River State, who, by the way, may just be joining APC anytime soon, in a statement issued on Monday alongside other principal officers of the caucus, expressing deep concern and overwhelming disappointment over the controversy surrounding the tax reforms. According to the caucus, the allegations, if proven, strike at the core of Nigeria's legislative integrity, constitutional order, and democratic governance. So then they demand, House of Rep, they demand say, make them suspend them for now. But Oga Oyedele say even Tinubu no fit give order, make them suspend tax reform. Say it must continue. So not even Tinubu can stop it from happening. So as it is right now, Nigerians are gearing up for 1st of January. Sadly, and I saw it years happen. Oh, by the way, so they talk about them as they talk to you. Nigerians today face total blackout across the country because say on a national grid collapse again, leading to a drop in power supply in most parts of the country to near zero. Electricity supply to the country's power distribution companies fell drastically, according to distribution load figures released at I think around 3 p.m. today. So information from the distribution companies disclosed showed that only 2 operators were receiving the electricity at the time of the collapse, with Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company recording a load of 30 megawatts, while Abuja Electricity Distribution Company recorded 20 megawatts. Now, a statement by the Eco Disco Company on Monday said, kindly be informed that there was a system collapse at about 14:01 hours, which had resulted to the loss of power across our network. So everybody for Lagos, or when they use Eco, then they're on total blackout. The latest development also, I think this is on the 6th time this year, where we say on a national grid, they collapse. And this, they're very, very sad. Okay, let's look at matter we get to do with some hoodlums activities. A group of women protesting continued killings. They say they don't to kill them for inside Okeado, fellow the local government area of Kwara State. Hoodlums attack them over the weekend. Say, how dare you protest? That is, you'll be going through pains in Nigeria. You don't even have the right to express the pain that you're going through. It is that bad in Nigeria. So they were attacked by suspected hoodlums. The protesters who staged peaceful protest at the government house demanded immediate action over sustained attacks by terrorists in their community, while lamenting that their husbands and children had been in captivity. So, in a video circulating online, don't let me play that now. The protest was disrupted by some thugs who lashed out at the protesters and chased them away in the presence of the security operatives. In case you don't understand, police they there. Hoodlums come pursue the protesters. So waiting at the protest for not they go. Several protesters were also seen crying as they lamented the unprecedented torture they had endured at the hands of the marauding bandits. People they cry, they protest for the thing where they go through for the hands of terrorists and bandits. Hoodlums, touts, they chase them away. They tell them, say, we're gonna go back. Waiting at the protest for. Now, one of the protesters lamented, said, please help us. You have finished us with kidnapping in Okeode. We are poor. We are poor people. We have exhausted all our means to confront this situation. All our efforts have ended. They kidnapped our husbands and our children. Please come to our aid. The development has generated condemnation online, with some accusing Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak's led government of unlawfully gagging and attacking peaceful protesters. Now, human rights activists and publisher Moyele Sowore also condemned the unconstitutional attacks on protesters. And then, but the governor don't deny, say no, he don't send anybody. He not send anybody. So not being sent people made them attack people on their behalf. So he did not you don't do that kind of thing at all. So no, he did not send anybody to do that kind of thing at all. Let's get straight into politics here. So I told you all that Wike was going to have a press conference today, right? Well, press conference he had today. No, media chat he had today. His end of year media chat it was called. He had today. And there, trust Wike to also boast a lot and said a little about nothing, and then a lot of other stuff. And of course, throw a jab at people will be say go throw jab on, shade people will be say go shade, respond to people will be say go respond to. And one of the people he respond to is Seyi Makinde and the governor of the state, Siminalayi Fubara. So it's obvious that all is indeed not well with him and the governor. In fact, I can't even tell the governor, say nothing like 001. You know, be 001 anywhere. That it can only be 001 in a ward, not in the states. So you know be any 001 anywhere. People are like, oh, are we still in this quarrel? You remember that over last week I had told you that Wike had said that the president will not decide for them who their governorship candidates will be in 2027. Right? Now, Mr. Wike, who spoke, doesn't exist in this. He said 001 concept does not exist in the state level, stressing that Mr. Fubara only registered at his ward after joining the APC. So now your ward 001 you be. He decamped to the APC with whom? What is 001? Let me tell you, there is nothing like 001 in the States. You registered in your ward and local government. So if you are 001, it's on your own ward. There's nothing like 001. There's nothing like I have registered in the States as 001. Everybody registered in their own. He went on and on and on. Now, highlights, he also, however, Mr. Wike questioned Mr. Fubara's ability to lead the party, saying his defection lacked a political structure and mass support. Highlighting the difference between position and leadership, Mr. Wike said Mr. Fubara that his decision to leave the PDP, about 22 local government chairmen in the state, and nearly half of the members of the Rivers House of Assembly have already defected to the APC. As a governor, he has the state assembly to move with. He has the council chairman, the party chairman, and member of the National Assembly to move with. Well, he did say quite a lot, and trust Wike to be able to say a lot of things. By the way, he did speak about or respond to Seyi Makinde's claim that that he had promised the president to hold down PDP for him. Let's see if we can just take a listen to a few of the things he had to say. I'm sorry, I know say a lot of them are not tired to hear Wike rants and all that, but it is in the news. We'll have to talk about it. This is not me giving him a publicity, but I mean, he had a conference media chat today. Let's take a listen to a few things he had to say during the media chat, and let's also see, because he did say quite a lot of things. So it is difficult to understand Seyi Makinde will come out online. Rather, I mean, trust Wike, typical of Wike, if you hold on for one side, he will hold it for the other side. So he did say that if Seyi Makinde said that they were in a meeting with the president and the president asked, and that's where he told the president that he hold down PDP for him. Now, what was the essence of that meeting? Why you, a governor from PDP, they get a meeting with the president? What's be the essence of the meeting? May they ask him? What's be the essence of the meeting? Hi. And then he did say that, well, that Sheyi Makinde chose to be a contractor. That is suggesting that Sheyi Makinde is having the conduct contract on behalf of federal government. Then he chose power. So the two of them, they choose different things. Well, it's always, but Sheyi Makinde is yet to react to this. I did tell you yesterday how Peter Ayodele was also blasting Sheyi Makinde in support of Oga Wike. Well, let's take a listen to a few things that Wike said during the interview today.
You're sounding like you want unity and collaboration between leadership, but Sheyi Makinde is accusing you of doing the opposite. So if we get into his media chat that happened not too long ago, he mentioned you by name and said in a meeting with the president that you were present and the president's chief of staff was present, that you said to the president that I will hold PDP for you. And then he said that he went with you to the veranda or the balcony and said, this is not what we planned, or this is not what was agreed to. And then he said that if you're free to support the president if you want to, but he is free not to. Now, is that factual? Because he said other people were there.
That's a blatant lie. And that's why, you see, Sheyi Makinde has never called me Wike. Never. That's the first time I hear him say Wike. He has never called me Wike one day. It's unfortunate. First of all, you ask yourself, what was that meeting? What was the purpose of that meeting? That would have led me to say, Mr. President, I will hold PDP for you. Why did Sheyi Makinde not come up all this while to tell the party, see what Wike is doing? I was in a meeting and see what Wike said. It is not correct. And let me put the record straight. There was no such meeting. Rather, my humble self, the former governor of Benue State, Otom, the former governor of Abia State, Ibazu, the former governor of Enugu State, Ugwaye, and Sheyi Makinde, we went to see President.
That's the G5.
Yes, we went to see President to discuss, of course, elections were over, to discuss about certain things. While we were there, the chief of staff, of course, you should know that the chief of staff is always around the president. I was one who said, look, chief of staff, come and so that they can, remind the president of what we have discussed. There was nothing like a meeting. We booked to go and see Mr. President. So you could not, it is completely out of place for anybody to say that in that meeting, I said to Mr. President, I will hold PDP down for you. That's very unfair. Very, very unfair. Totally unfair. And you see, I have told everybody, frustration, if you can see, if you watch Makinde on that media chat, you can see frustration. And this is a young man we have advised severally. Politics is not like being a contractor with Shell. Politics is not like being a contractor with a mobile. It has different rules. It has different. When did Sheyi Makinde come into politics? When did he come into politics? And you see, there's nothing wrong in having ambition. But the ambition must be tailored according to the rules.
Ambition? What do you mean by ambition? Running for president or what?
He has not even had the guts to tell us that he wants to run for president. Let him say that he has told anybody. But we know we are not kids. You see, there are things you can do, and you think that people don't know. People do. They watch you. They follow what is going on. How did PDP enter this crisis? It is Sheyi Makinde's ambition. How did we enter the crisis? He went and arranged with some people to make sure that National Secretary is ousted. He allowed people to go to State High Court in Enugu. When you know that the State High Court has no jurisdiction over that matter, they got the judgment. No problem. Samaya went to the Court of Appeal. On appeal, Samaya won. We all agreed for the party to move on. Look, convention will be coming. Why not allow this to go on? We have only 1 year. So what are you pursuing? In the convention, you will make sure those who don't want them to come back will not come back. He refused and went to Supreme Court. When he got to Supreme Court, he lost. He still believed that no, Supreme Court said the party has no jurisdiction. Come on, what are you doing? Who appealed to Supreme Court? You and your colleague, you and your co-host appealed to Supreme Court and you lost. Until when they went to INEC, INEC told them, listen, as far as we are concerned, in our system, the secretary of the PDP is Senator Sam. Right? Now, Saraki could bear this witness. We have met in Saraki's guest house severally. Fintri, the governor of Adamawa, was there. Bala, the chairman of Government Forum was there. Saraki was there. There's nothing you have agreed to do that Makinde will not go and do a different thing. There's nothing. And this is why we are here today. Because, okay, look at even the convention, for example. The Board of Trustees set up a committee to say, look, what do we do? Committee headed by Wakil Adamawa, former governor of Osun State, Oyinlola, former deputy governor and chief of staff to President Jonathan Ogademe, Senator Zainab Kure, and 2 other people came up with a report. Look, let's not go for this convention. Let's set up caretaker committee. The same Sheyi, of course, you know Adolphus Wabara. He has no name. You know he has no name.
But you just mentioned his name.
He has no name. That does not mean that that's the name. They don't know what to do as the Senate president was just bribe of 15 million naira. Everybody is aware of that. He went. They now denied and said, oh, the committee was compromised. There are 2 judgments of the Federal High Court, Justice Omotosho and Justice Lifi. Substantive judgment, not orders. Sheyi Makinde, frustration can make you do a lot of things that will cause damage. He went to Ibadan State High Court to obtain an ex parte order. State High Court to obtain an ex parte order for them to still go on with that convention. How could an ex parte order override substantive judgment?
I mean, it can be very tiring listening to Wiki and all of these things and we'll be seeing it talk, but that's not just a few parts of the interview where EBC gets today and media chats where you get to be trying to narrate and justify what's happen. And a lot of people they talk say what's they perhaps give Wiki the hand and because if you say and get the upper hand in terms of getting good judgments, that not waiting people they talk because if feel say the judiciary go down his side or go favor and would he be doing these things he's doing? Perhaps did he also predict the action of INEC? Did he know that the INEC in one way or the other will support him? And you go fit exonerate the president totally from this, especially in the action of INEC, because right now INEC need no agree recognize PDP, don't delist PDP from the election for Ekiti State. So is it because perhaps he also predicts the action of INEC? And then people they say, wait to make the president they calm, they allow these things to happen, and because somehow they do them for him, he could favor him. So now wait to make it, let the thing happen, make out of vendetta or anger, make it destroy opposition political parties. That's quite a lot to talk about this, and it's really tiring to talk about. But let's get straight to Peter Obi because there's something interesting we need to share about Peter Obi. By the way, phone lines are open, so please feel free to jump in on the phone lines. Kindly call the WhatsApp number 0817-029-4077. That's the WhatsApp number to call, 0817-029-4077. That's the WhatsApp number to call. You can also click on the link that is in the pinned post. There's already a post that is pinned, a comment that is posted in the comment section. So click on that link in that comment section that is pinned to bring you straight into the studio to be part of the conversation. So moving on straight to what Peter Obi said. So the Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi has declared his intention to contest in the 2027 election. In fact, he said he will do the ballot. Peter Obi will be on the ballot in 2027, he said. I need your support. I need your prayers. Mr. Obi said during that conversation he had yesterday on an X space. Now, he also appealed to Nigerians for support and prayers ahead of the polls. He did also say something that, say he no go wasting time, energy, you understand, to use travel different countries, to use study their development only for him to be a vice president. So that one no good now. And then he did say that I am not traveling around the world to learn governance to be vice president, he said. I know how to turn Nigeria around. I built my business from the scratch. He said he built his business from the scratch and have more experience than any candidate, including the sitting president. To say he get more experience than any other candidates, including his, because all in businesses start from the scratch. And so after defecting, I mean, he said quite a lot, and I just thought to drop that there. By the way, Nigerians don't they troll Oga Dave Umahi for waiting to be saying in talk or for trolling Peter Obi. So in an event that was held recently, Oga Dave Umahi was heard telling his people of his states, say make them make sure say make anybody no can deceive them, make any non-entity no can tell them say he from Labour Party, he from Umbrella Party, and people like oh, so it's Peter Obi that is the Labour Party person that you're referring to as a non-entity. That now waiting people talk. I think that's an old video. Waiting people to talk about how dare you refer to Peter Obi as a non-entity, and then he went on to say that it is not time for Igbo president yet. That when it is time for Igbo president, in the day, na Igbo be president. While he was laying foundation of, for a particular, don't ask me words. And then people have started reacting that way. So the reason why you do everything possible to talk down on your fellow brother is just because you have an ambition to be president. So for your mind, now you will be the next president, the first Igbo president of Nigeria. And that's why you can do everything possible to rubbish a Peter Obi. Let's take a listen to a few of those things he said.
Put your votes together. Don't allow any non-entity to jump out. He's in a laboring, party. He's in a, turn-up umbrella party. To deceive you again. Ask all of us, the one I get again, what have we done for our people? So it's no longer about personal interest. It should be collective interest. When people ask me, do things for me, myself, so I just do things by the grace of God. But somebody is that or say mena or no neighbor.
Out of here, Your Excellency, I'm here. Only the good work to happen.
When we exclude that community completely.
Yes, sir.
Then no your good not support to the middle uniform.
Yes, sir.
I don't know Nigerians are
yes, sir.
And it's a son that I am Pediaka Wofta.
Yes, sir.
No one else would have done it better than him.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. If you didn't get, support him so that all of us will.
Yes.
Not be so?
Not so.
Then you see the president. Let nobody come to deceive you. When the time people man to be president, are they here?
Yes,
Thank you. When people, our brothers and sisters in Southeast, when they don't regard us, don't be stupid to join them to disregard us. Power and might belongs to God. After all, how many good? After all, our Savior Jesus Christ came from Nazareth, yes, where they didn't expect. Yes. This Ebony you are seeing, this very Ebony, that you are witnessing, that is the Nazareth of Southeast and Nigeria. Finally, where is the House of Assembly? Do everything to reconcile with you will not fight anybody that God has used to help you. People will be clapping for you. People, don't be your good, don't do me too. But Yes, Come so.
Yes, sir.
So, but I'm telling you in your own interest. I used 2 years with the speaker at that time, who is the governor now, doing everything to reconcile with the election. Not because I offended him, but because I needed to pay him.
Right. Well, that's a few things that Obahi said. Phone lines are open. So I mean, he talked a lot of things. So one of the things we annoy a lot of people, we make people react now, the threat to cordon off or cut off any community where EBC vote any other candidate will not be a candidate for 2027 election. For instance, if they don't vote Bola Tinubu, you go make sure say development no reach them. That means you don't set and say whether they vote Bola Tinubu or they no vote am. Bola Tinubu go win election. And when that time reach, it will cut the community off. So that's the implication of that statement. And people are now saying, I don't understand. So, and we've often asked this question for other countries, I beg, because of say one person no votes or some areas no votes for a particular party or candidate, does it mean that when the other candidates enter power, it will kukuma avoid everything we get to do with development for those other areas? I may not be the commonwealth of everybody, and I need to use to those projects. So why threaten people with something that's supposed to be the commonwealth of everyone? That's not waiting people to talk. So, I mean, phone lines are open there. 0817 0817 That's the number to call. Or you just click on the link on the page post and it brings you straight into the studio to be part of the conversation. Did I tell you also that the Federal High Court in Abuja has declared that local government autonomous third tier of government and nullified critical provisions of the universal basic education. So this is supposed to ensure, say, local government really they are autonomous. But the question is, say the governors actually did ready to allow them move on. And Atiku Abubakar no great stop because he's insisting that the National Assembly's plan to re-gazette Tinubu's controversial tax laws amid alterations is very, very wrong. So they tell them, say, the way he's just been talking about this tax law back to back to back, just great common body for inside the thing. He still they talk about them back to back to back. It is not backing out, emphasizing on the fact that it is a treasonable offense and they should treat it as such. Well, will anybody listen? Which particular National Assembly in the first place? Which one? We will listen to this conversation. By the way, Benjamin Carlo, the trend this evening because of reason he say make Alex Oti try. Say make him just pray, make him Benjamin Carlo no get interest to run as governor for 2027. Because if he decides to run as governor in 2027, then of course Alex Oti should forget about it. Okay. And you're not disputing the fact that he's working, but you just believe because you're in APC, you will win the election. Is it not interesting? Very wonderful. Okay. All right, people. I told you about that conversation that more than 30 displaced women and children are being forced to squat in a single room at an informal internally displaced persons IDP camp in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital. Now, their conditions were exposed by a lawyer, Mubashir Omar, who visited several displacement sites across Gusau and shared videos documenting the living conditions of victims of bandits' attacks. People with bandits, terrorists pursue from their places. They live in a very difficult situation. In one of the videos made available, Omar said this is another camp we visited in Gusau, where more than 30 women squat in a single room with their children. Over 30 women and girls are cramped in a single room in this IDP camp, he added. The footage also captured displaced persons narrating their ordeals following violent attacks in their communities by terrorists. Very sad what Nigerians have to go through in their own state, in their own homeland. It is very, very disappointing. Did I tell you that the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, says the payment of $570,000 US, approximately 826 million naira in dia blood money to facilitate the release of a Nigerian citizen, Suleiman Olufemi, who spent about 20 years on death row in Saudi Arabia, has been completed. So the person, 20 years now, they done the death row. And Nigerian government spent 826 million naira, that is about 570,000 US dollars, to release them at Suleiman Olorofem. In a statement issued on Monday, Director of Media's Publications Abdul Rahman Balogu to NATCOM confirmed that the funds demanded by the family of a Saudi police officer killed in the 2002 incident have been fully deposited into a Saudi government designated account. With the dia, that is blood money, fully raised by the Commission and the Saudi-based Yarrow brothers through the Association of Nigerians in Saudi Arabia paid into a designated Saudi account, we remain hopeful that diplomatic efforts by the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Turiga, will yield massive pardon. May the no for killer. Very sad. Very sad. Let me go take your reaction. All right. Phone lines are open. Good evening, Henry.
Yeah, good evening.
Henry, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, Precious, good evening. And good evening, Divwe. Yeah, I just wanted to make some brief points. One, Tinubu silence. You know,
it's
like not
that
I like him like that, but I like that silence because do you know the reason why I like the silence? Yeah, the reason being that these Fulanis that is in government, it is good that the way Tinubu is treating them, because if Tinubu want to answer this thing, like, okay, I want to make some precision. If care is not taken, Biafra will come. You know, the Somalian land, they've already, that one is sure. So the next one is going to be Biafra. That's my own prediction. But I don't know when it's going to, but I know it must surely happen.
Somaliland.
Yes. So,
you think they then get your time rich like that? You don't think it's a serious deal they go on? You think they then get your time rich like that?
Well, I know there's serious thing going on, but you see this insurgency in Nigeria, that's the thing that will cause that Biafra to come. This insurgency, that's the thing that is going to break Nigeria. Mark my word. Yes, that's what I want to say.
Okay.
This insurgency, yeah. And again, Omahi should just keep short.
That's our professor by experience, so don't say that.
No, he should just shut up. Because the reason why I say he should shut up, when he was in government, I mean, when he was, even as he's in government, what has he even done to the southeastern part of Nigeria? I mean, what has he brought, that will make him to be talking anyhow? Yeah, I mean, even if whether he like it or he doesn't like it, Peter Obi must run. And if God wants, Peter Obi to be there, he will be there. Omahi just, I mean, all those rubbish they're just talking, but he should just shut up. He should speak for himself. He shouldn't speak for Igbo. Because if had he been, it's not a betrayer. I mean, because they have done more harm than good to Igbo nation. So that's what I want to say. Yeah, good night.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Good night, sir. Thank you. All right, Nigerians, I'd like to say thank you to you. I'd like to say a very big thank you to everyone who's part of the show. Thank you so much for always being part of the show. I love and appreciate you guys a lot. I'll see you again tomorrow evening and another tomorrow and another tomorrow, right? Okay, so but remember to protect your mental health. Don't be take life too personal. I know hard like that. I beg. Protect your mental health. Till tomorrow, we'll see you again. I love you. Good night and God bless you. Thank you.